All right, you guys ready? Because it's recording. All right, so this is Mrs. M's awesome first period algebra. You guys want to say hi? Oh, wow. Okay. Apparently not. All right, so we're going to be talking about adding and subtracting polynomials today. All right. Polynomial is just a fancy name for something that has a few terms. All right. So, like, for instance, 2x is a term. 4x squared, that's a term. If we just have a number, that can just be a term. All right, so you got to think back to the beginning of the year when we matched up our like terms. All right, so we're going to start with our first example. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is highlight your like terms. All right, so I have a 9y, and if you want to do shapes, if you don't have a highlighter, that's fine. Do you see any other y's anywhere? Good job. Negative 3y. All right, do we have any other y's? All right, so I'm going to switch colors. All right, we have a negative 7x. Do you see any other x's? Good job. And then last but not least, we have a 15a. And do you see any other a's? Good job. All right, so now we're going to just go ahead and add together the like terms. All right, so we have a 9y, and make sure you pay attention to the sign that's in front of it. A 9y minus a 3y. So what's 9 minus 3? Beautiful, 6. All right, we have a negative 7x plus a positive 8x. So negative 7 plus a positive 8. Think about this one before you say it out loud. It's just 1. Good. Do I have to write the 1 in front of my x? Do you want me to write the 1? Okay. Well, somebody said yes, so we'll write the 1. All right. Last but not least, we have 15a, a positive 15a, subtracting 8a. So what's 15 minus 8? 7. Beautiful. And then this example is all done. We can't do anything else with it. I put it in the right order? Oh, yes, but none of these have like squareds or cubes, but usually, yes, we put them in the correct order. If you want to put it in alphabetical order, you can, but we don't have to. All right, ready for example 2? All right, you all have it copied? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do the same thing. I like to color coordinate because you guys know how I like colors. So we have a 3a squared. Do you see any more a squareds? All right, so are a squareds and a's the same thing, though? Yeah? No. You crazy? No. All right, how about ab's? Do we see any more ab's? Yes? We had a 4ab. And then last but not least, we have a b squared. And do you see any more b squareds? Yeah? What do you see? Beautiful. That's a nice color. Alright, so same thing like before. Now this time, since we don't have another a squared, we're just going to go ahead and write down our 3a squared. It doesn't have a friend to combine with. Alright, so we have a 3ab and 4ab. They're both positive, so 3 and 4 make beautiful. Okay, and then we have a negative b squared and a 6b. So what is 6 minus, what's the coefficient here if there's not one? 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. And it's positive, right? Because 6 is positive? Yeah. Okay, good. So 5b squared. All right, our next example is a little bit weird. You ready for the next one? Yeah? Okay. So we have some algebra tiles for example number 3. And then the first thing that I think that we should do is let's just actually write out what the algebra tiles are in regular algebra. So how many y's do I have over here? 4. So that's going to be 4y. All right. How many of these long x's do I have? 2x. Oh, and you know something I forgot, guys? So when they're red, that means they're what? Negative. So go ahead, add on your negative to the 4. How many of the x squareds do we have? Just 1. We're going to do the number in a second. So, and then how many of these little numbers do I have? 3. All right, and then we're adding with that. Let's do the next side now. Say, I don't understand the question. Yeah, the x squared? There's only one of them, though. Because it's just one big box. Just count it as 1. You can write the 1 if you want. All right, now let's do the other side. We have how many of these y's? And they are negative. So I'm going to put my little negative sign at the top. So negative 3y. And then how many of the long x's do I have? Just 1. This is actually probably more work than if we just counted it straight up. We have an xy. How many of those, though? Just 1. Don't get excited and combine your x's and your y's to the xy. And then I'm running out of room, so I'll write it at the bottom. We have how many more numbers? 5. Ooh, my goodness. All right, so let's go ahead and color coordinate. So we have a negative 4y. Yes, Cece? Is the 5 negative? No. These are green, so they're good to go. Only red makes it negative. Yeah, oh, sorry, were you talking about the orange one? Yeah, that one's... Oh, yeah, because we don't have a color copier. We're not that cool. Sorry. All right, do we have any more y's? Just straight up y's? Do you guys see any more y's? Good. And then let's do the x's. We have a 2x. Do we have any more x's? Yep, just x. And do we have any more x squareds? Nope. Do we have any more numbers? Yep. And then xy is all by itself as well, so I guess I'll make that kind of dark purpley. All right, now the easy part, let's just write it all together. So we have a negative 4y minus 3 more y is going to give me a negative 7. Good. We have a 2x plus another x is going to give me 2x plus x is 2x? 3x. Good job. Alright, since we don't have any more x squared, just go ahead and write the x squared down. So plus x squared. Oh, that's supposed to be x squared. Hold on, I'll make that better, because that looks bad. Alright, we have a 3 and a 5. They're both positive. 3 plus 5 is 8. And then, whoa, that looks weird. That's supposed to be 8. Sorry, it got a little crazy. And then the last thing that we have is just that xy that's all by itself. The xy, you just leave it by itself. So we have the negative 7y, right? That stays separate, and the 3x stays separate, but then we had the 1xy. That's going to stay separate from your x's and your y's, because xy is not the same as x or the same as y. Try to put it together, yeah. Yeah, no, don't get that excited. Alright, everyone have this one copied? Ready for the next one? Okay, one more easy easy subtracting, or sorry, adding one. And then I made this too big. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and color coordinate this guy. So we've got 4x squared and a negative 3x squared. A negative 2xy and a negative xy. And then positive 3y squared and a positive 2y squared. And this one, most of these are pretty nice. They put them all in the right order, right? Yeah, that's not always going to happen, just so you know. Alright, so we have a 4x squared and a negative 3x squared, so 4 minus 3 is... 4 minus 3 is 1, okay. Do I need to write the 1? Yeah, you can if you want, that's right. You prefer to add the 1? Okay. So since some of us prefer, we'll go ahead and write it, but if you don't want to and it confuses you, then that's fine. You don't have to write it. Alright, this one's going to be a little bit tricky. We have a negative 2xy, a negative 2xy, and a negative xy. Alright, how many is this right here? Just 1, okay? So if you want to write the 1, you can. Alright, so we're doing a negative 2 minus 1 more. A negative 2 minus 1 more is negative 3. Good. I was getting a little worried for a second. Alright, so negative 3xy. Alright, and then last but not least, we have a positive 3y squared and a positive 2y squared. 3 plus 2 is... Alright. So far we've pretty much only done adding. It gets a little bit more tricky with subtracting. We just have to do one more step before we can actually do it. Are you ready for subtracting? No, we're not done. Alright, so the thing that you need to do before you can do subtraction is you're going to rewrite your subtraction. You're going to put this in the little box off this side. Rewrite your subtraction. Sorry, it takes me a long time to write with the mouse. It's okay if they don't. This is not English, so no hating. Alright, rewrite your subtraction as adding the opposite. I'm just going to put op because it's going to take me too long to write that out. So rewrite subtraction as adding your opposite. Alright, so in essence what we're going to do with these is we're going to change all of our signs. So if you're subtracting a negative, it's going to turn to adding a positive. If you are subtracting a positive, it's going to turn to adding a negative. Alright? And that sounds more confusing than it actually is. So are you ready for example number 5? Okay. Alright, so this time we have subtraction in the middle. That's what we need to watch out for. So what we're going to do, just go ahead and change all of your signs. So you're going to change this into a plus. This is a negative, so it turns to a plus. This is a positive, so add that negative at the top. And this is a negative, so it's going to turn to a plus. Everything just switched. So whenever you have subtraction, you're just going to switch your signs. No, only the second part, because you're subtracting the second part. So nothing over here is going to change. Only the second part right here. That was a really good question. Because whatever is after your subtraction sign is what you're going to change. Alright, now let's do the same thing like we did before. Color coordinate. We have a 9y and now a positive 3y. We have a negative 7x and a negative 8x. And then we have a positive 15a and a positive 8a. Alright, so 9y plus 3 more y is going to give me... No, you don't change the signs from the first one. You only change the signs that are after the subtraction sign. So, she asked if these ones get changed to the opposite sign, and no, you only change the ones that are after your subtraction sign. Alright, so 9y plus 3y is... your negative 7x plus your negative 8x gives you 7 plus 8, negative 15. Good. And then we have a positive 15a and a positive 8a. We get, yep, 23. Good job. Are you ready for example 6? Alright, so remember we're only changing the back, this back portion right here, so change the plus sign in the middle, and the 3a is going to become negative, and the 4b is going to become negative. Color coordinate, so we've got a 7a and a negative 3a. And then we have a negative 10b and a negative 4b. Alright, so 7a minus 3a is 4. Good job. And then a negative 10b plus a negative 4b. Negative 14b. Good job. Alright, we have one more example that we're going to do together, and then we have 2 of them that you're going to try. Ready for the last one? Alright, I'll take that as a yes. And let me move this thing out of the way. Alright, so go ahead and change your sign. So put your plus in the middle. Your 3x squared is going to turn from negative to a positive, and this is going to turn to a, what's already negative, so, and this is going to turn to a negative. Now let's color coordinate. So we have a 4x squared and a 3x squared. We have a negative 2xy and a positive xy, and 3y squared and a negative 2y squared. Alright, so a positive 4x squared plus a positive 3x squared gives me 7x squared. Good job. Negative 2xy plus 1xy is going to give me just a, yep. So if you want to write the 1, you can, or if you just want to leave it as minus xy, you can. And then we have a positive 3y squared and a negative 2y squared, so 3 minus 2 gives me just y squared. Alright, so you have 2 examples that you're going to try. They look really similar, but notice the first one has a plus sign in the middle and the second one has a minus sign in the middle. So your answer should not be the same.